All right, let's try a little thought experiment. There's this piece of technology that's so woven into our daily lives, we don't even see it anymore. It's just there. It guides our cars, finds our favorite restaurants, and pretty much connects our entire world. But what would happen if one day it just vanished? So picture this. You wake up, grab your phone, because you want to check the route to that new coffee shop, and nothing. The little blue dot that shows you where you are, it's gone. And it's not just a glitch on your phone. All across the planet, the entire global positioning system has just gone dark. And here's the thing, this is so much bigger than just getting lost on your way to get a latte. The failure of this one, single, invisible utility would kick off this unbelievable chain reaction. It would start with the device right there in your hand, but the ripple effects would paralyze the entire globe. So the very first thing you'd notice is super personal. Your map app, it's basically just a pretty picture now. The fancy navigation system in your car, totally useless. All of a sudden, something as simple as getting from point A to point B becomes a real challenge. You'd have to break out an old paper map, remember those, and actually ask for directions. But of course, it's not just your problem. It's everybody's problem, and it's happening all at once. And that's when things start to get really serious. The entire logistical fabric of a modern city, it just starts to completely unravel almost instantly. Think about all the systems that make a city run. Ride-sharing apps like Uber and Lyft, they just vanish from your phone. That food or package delivery you were waiting for? Canceled. Even the traffic lights, which are often synchronized by GPS to keep traffic flowing smoothly, they'd all fail, causing gridlock on a scale you can't even imagine. And worst of all, emergency services would essentially be flying blind. And this is where it becomes a true life or death situation. About 80% of 911 calls rely on GPS. And that's not just to help the ambulance find the right street, it's to get a precise location ping from the caller's cell phone. Without that, dispatchers and paramedics would lose precious, critical minutes just trying to find people. The consequences would be immediate and tragic. Okay, so the chaos quickly explodes from a citywide crisis to total global paralysis. Because it's not just cars on the street that stop moving, the very arteries of global trade and travel would be severed in an instant. I mean, the contrast here is just staggering. With GPS, thousands of planes are safely navigating the skies at any given moment. Without it, the entire global fleet is grounded, period. Container ships that carry trillions of dollars worth of goods would be adrift, unable to navigate or dock. Even our food supply is threatened, since modern precision farming absolutely depends on GPS-guided tractors to plant and harvest. And when you look at the numbers, it is just, wow, it's wild. Almost half of our navigational reliance on GPS is for maritime shipping. That's the lifeblood of our global economy. Aviation, logistics, it's all right there. We've built a world that literally cannot move without these signals from space. But here's the biggest twist. Navigation is only half the story. In fact, getting lost might actually be the least of our worries. You see, GPS provides a second function, one that's way more critical and one that most of us have never, ever heard of. It's like the hidden heartbeat of our entire modern world. So what is it? I mean, what could possibly be more important than knowing where you are? Well, the answer is knowing when you are. And I don't mean just the time of day. I mean knowing the time with a level of precision that is almost impossible to comprehend. Okay, so get this. Every single one of the 31 GPS satellites orbiting the Earth has an incredibly accurate atomic clock on board. All of them, working together, broadcast a time signal that creates one perfectly synchronized universal master clock for the entire planet. And this isn't for setting your watch. This is for synchronizing the very systems that run our civilization. Let's use the most dramatic example, the stock market. Every single high-speed trade has to be time-stamped down to the microsecond to make sure everything is fair and legal. And where does that timestamp come from? You guessed it, the GPS time signal. So if that signal disappears, the system can't work. The New York Stock Exchange, London, Tokyo, they don't just crash, they freeze solid, instantly. And the list just goes on and on. Our energy grids use that time signal to sync the flow of electricity and prevent massive blackouts. Your cell phone network uses it to pass your call from one tower to the next without you even noticing. Even the internet itself relies on that timing to keep all the data packets flowing in the right order. It's this silent, invisible, and absolutely essential utility. So, what's the big takeaway here? What does this all really mean? Well, it means we have built our entire 21st century world on top of an invisible architecture, a framework of signals from space that we completely and utterly take for granted. There's this quote that it nails it perfectly. We've created this masterpiece of engineering, this hyper-efficient, globally connected society. But in the process, we've also created this colossal vulnerability, a single point of failure that could bring the whole thing down. And that really is the ultimate lesson from this whole thought experiment. It's a huge paradox, right? The very thing that makes our world so powerful and so dynamic, the seamless interconnectedness, is the exact same thing that makes it incredibly fragile. Everything depends on everything else, and it all comes back to this invisible heartbeat from space. So it kind of leaves you with a question to chew on. We've just unpacked the invisible world of GPS. What else is out there? What other hidden complex systems are quietly holding our world together, maybe just one glitch away from chaos? It's definitely something to think about.